Okay, so Mutala, I welcome all of you to the Standard English course, and some of you may be familiar with me because we have done the 9A project and the 3A project and various other projects as well. So the other ones who are new to our whole scenario, I'm Dr. Tulin Dharmaratna, doctor in medicine and CCHRM, CIPM, that means Chartered Institute of Personal Management. So, and this is Higher Education Sri Lanka, conducted by me, the Standard English certification course. So, at the end of this program, so today this is our first lesson, right? Today this is our first session, and I hope to do a lesson today as well. And today is the introductory program as well. So there are several rules in this program. This is our second batch because after the last year's O level, we started our first batch, and the first batch actually had around 60 plus students. So I am hoping that actually people are still asking us and requesting us to get admitted. So during the next few days and by the time of next session, we'll have some more students as well. So most of you all are doing the recording thing. No? So only 13, 14 people are here present actively. The others are watching the recording. So some of them have informed me as well. So there are several rules in our course because this is a standard English course. This is not your general English course, or this is not something general. This maintains a standard, certain standard, and we start from the very bottom and we will finish up at the very top. Because at the end of these 12 weeks, after all these lessons, you will get an exam, right? That exam is personally seen by me. I will conduct the exam and you will connect to me via online, and this is a VIVA exam. So by the time we get to the exam, I'll explain the exam, but it is a one-on-one personal exam where I will be asking you all questions, each person, okay? Each person individually, and they have to answer me back. And if you pass the exam, you will get the certification to your doorstep. It will be delivered to your home because you have given us the home address, no? So it will be given delivered to you all. So don't worry about that. All you have to do is do the work I'm telling you to do properly and correctly. And then the other thing is, second rule is, this is now most of you all are after your O-level exam. So some people are here joining at the A-level stage as well. Some people are after A-level. So most of you all are after your O-level exam. So if you consider yourself as children, don't think about yourself as children. You all are adults now, growing adults, so young adults. So you have a certain personality to maintain. Okay, so whatever you think inside your head, drop everything. Now you have to learn from the very bottom, and I hope to build not only your English and your personalities as well. So because of that particular reason, I want you all to have some. Let's say when I ask you a question, right? When I ask you a question, I want all of you, like if I name someone, so we have 14, 15 people here, right? 14, 15 people here. So if I name someone, or if I ask you a question, make sure that you answer me back, right? And the other thing is, you can't, you can't just hide behind a microphone and a video camera because just because this is an online program, because you are being evaluated. Okay, at the end of this period, whole course, you will be having an exam. So because of that, each and every week I will be monitoring who is the person, who are the people who are answering, who are the people who are talking to me, who are the people who are interacting. And after everything, because each week by week I will be giving marks. I will be marking here, I will be keeping notes, because the team has given me the whole set of names and schools and everything. Okay, so I have the lists here, right here. I don't know whether you can see me, but the names are here. Okay, all the names are here. All the people who have registered, the names are here. So I will be marking and giving marks for the people who are talking to me, interacting with the lesson, and doing the activities. And you will be marked, because at the end of the program, there will be a VIVA exam, and at the exam as well, I will be adding the marks. So after everything, at the end of the program, we will be offering a certification. Because if you have seen, I don't know whether everyone has seen, at last year's program, at the end of last year's program, the top 4 people, we kind of celebrated them. We have offered the first place, second place, and the third place. It was a joint third last year, as I remember. first, second, and third places is mentioned in the certificate. That is the valuable thing. It is not just the pass certificate. If you get the first, second, or the third place, it will be mentioned in your certificate. And if you get high, even if you can't get the first, second, third places, even if you get high marks, let's say we have 50 students participating for the exam, and then the top 10 people, apart from the first, second, third, other top 10 have done well as well. No? So other people have also done well. So it should be mentioned as well. So other than the first, second, third, we have to mention the rest of the people who have gotten best marks. So because of that, we will be putting the excellence award behind your name in the certification. Okay, so I am telling you all these things beforehand, before you begin the course, because you have to have the knowledge to know I need this, I want to do this, right? At the end of the program, at the end of the course, you have to have the certificate. If you are striving, if you are aiming for the first, second, third places, so if you want to keep getting marks, higher marks, you will be offered the excellence certificate. So make sure all those things are tapped, right? So other thing is the number 3 rule is this is an English course, certification course. So because of that, I do not expect you all to speak in Sinhala or ask me questions in Sinhala. Even if you know nothing in English, just ask me, just write to me when in the chat box, or when you are writing to the WhatsApp or whatever, when you have a question, or even if you switch on your microphone, whatever the English words that you know, use them and ask me the question. We don't care whether it's broken English or whatever the English, because nothing is stupid, nothing is laughed at, because you are here to learn, right? Nothing else. You are here to learn. So if you are here to learn, nobody judges you. No one will judge you if you are here to learn. So make sure that you ask your questions, make sure that you respond and interact. This is a proper standard course, and keep that inside your head. And even today, starting with today, we are conducting a standard lesson. So because of that, when I will start the lesson as soon as possible. So because of that, we are taking lessons. We are getting you involved in the lesson. We are getting people to speak up and read the lesson and to interact with each other, not each other, with us. Okay, when we ask questions and everything. So don't worry, because this is not your kindergarten or the grade 5 thing, no, right? You can't hide. You don't want to hide behind anything, because you are here because you haven't, done this before, right? Not in your school or anywhere else. So here you are here to polish your English, right? So keep that in your mind. So volunteer as much as possible to read the lesson, to answer the questions. Volunteer, okay? Right. So before everything, we are going to the first lesson. So that is so after everything, after the class, usually after the class, I will be posting the day-to-day lessons and the PDFs and notes and whatever the things in the group. So don't worry about the recordings and everything. Everything will be published soon, the day after, or as soon as possible. Okay. So don't worry about that. And the other thing is, here, yes. Yeah. So that's it. If anything comes into my mind, I will tell you about it. And the other thing is, yes, the other thing is, all now, since you have begun the course, keep a set of papers aside, right? Mama, I do not intend to talk in Sinhala, but just because today is the first day, Mama kiyanna, කොළ ටිකක් ඔයගාව තියාගන්න, පොතක් හරි මොකක් හරි කොළ ටිකක්, because you don't have to take notes, but when you come across certain terms, words that are not familiar with you, not in your vocabulary, make sure take down those words. මෙතන කියන අමාරු වචන, අපේ lessons වල යන අමාරු වචන ඒවා ලියා ගන්න. හරිද? You can type it out and ask me in the chat box. හරිද? හැමතැනම ඊළඟ දවසේ when we begin the next lesson, the next day, the next class, ask those questions. Okay? Chat box එකේ දාලා question එක අහන්න. නැත්තම් lesson එක යනකොට disturb කරන්න බැරි හින්දා chat box එකේ question එක අහන්න. Sir, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this term? What do you mean by this? විදිහට අහන්න. හරි? Always ask and learn. I will tell you whatever the answer. If I know the answer, I will tell you. Or if I don't know the answer, I will do a proper research on that and get you the answer. Okay, so do not worry about that. Right. So tell me, we will begin by, we need 3 volunteers today. Okay, 3 volunteers. I don't mind whether girls or boys. Raise your hand. Right? If you want to read the lesson, because it is an interactive thing, I will be, explaining the lesson, but students have to read the lesson. That is the usual procedure in our course. Because I take notice and I put marks. You are here to learn. So I need one person to begin the proceedings. If you don't volunteer, I will name the person. That's why. So if you volunteer, yes, Tarushi Abenayak has raised the hand. Yes, Tarushi, I will share the screen now with you all, and then you can switch on your microphone and read the lesson, Puta. Okay, are you with me? Nivartana as well.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Tarushi, I will offer the first chance to Tarushi, and then I will get back to Nivartana for the second part. Okay, right. Okay, so I will switch off the video screen and share the screen with all of you for the presentation for today's lesson. Right. Yes, Tarushi,
Sir,
can you see the screen, Puda?
from here?
Yes, I can hear you, Puda. I can hear you. Can you see the
Yes,
screen?
sir, I can.
Yes, good. Okay, so I'm switching over to the second
Yes,
slide
sir.
where we will begin the lesson. Right, so you can begin reading, okay? Right, go. Yes, Tarushi, you can read.
Okay, sir. English is a Germanic language that is spoken as a first language by more than 360 million people worldwide. It is also the third most commonly spoken language after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. English is considered as a global language and is used as an official language in more than 50 countries. The history of the English is a complex one with many influences from other languages and cultures. In this overview, we will examine the history and evolution of the English language, its grammar and syntax, its vocabulary and pronunciation, and its global reach and impact.
Okay, Tarushi, good. That's it for this page. So before I go to the next slide, I will explain about this, right? So here, Putala, the thing is, we are starting from the introductory part. When we come to English, we are starting from the introductory part. So although we think English is born and bred in England, I will switch on the video screen as well. Yes. So, although we think English is born and bred in England, it has a lot of influences, right? It has a lot of influences, and just like Tarushi read properly here, so don't be offended or scared by whoever reads the lesson or whoever the way I speak or the way that person speak, because you might be at the lowest level. You might not know how to pronounce or enunciate certain words and phrases, because you are here to learn. Do as much as mistakes you want here. Okay, I don't mind, and I will correct each and every one of them, because you are here to learn. So rather than going in front of the society and going in for a meeting when you start working and everything, down the lane for your career pathways, when you go to a meeting and doing mistakes, and the people will laugh at your faces, right? That will be very hilarious. No, you will be embarrassed. So before that happening, make sure that you correct all your mistakes right here, right now, right? So that is that. So English is a Germanic language that is spoken as a first language by more than 360 million people worldwide. So we know, Putala, the population is 7 billion. Right? Now it's 7.7 billion. That means 7,700 million are in this world. Okay, currently living. So out of that, 360 million people speak English. This English as their first language. And that is why it is important for us to learn English, because the problem is in the 1950s, our local government made sure that Sinhalese is the first language in this country, national language. So it has its, what do you call it? It has its best instances, and it has its worst case scenario at the same time as well, because of that decision, most of people dropped learning English, which was the only bridge connecting us to the international countries, the other countries, the rallying countries or the countries against us, who are living internationally. It was the only bridge connecting us little people. Okay, so people dropped learning English. English became the second language. So people have less literacy now comparing to 50, 60 years ago. We had much literacy in English language 70, 80 years ago. Now, so that is why we have to force you to learn this language. So it is also the third most commonly spoken language. As she mentioned, it is the third most commonly spoken language, because after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish, Spanish is spoken a little bit more than English because of colonization. Right? Just as much as the English people made sure the colonization happened, the Spanish people also made sure their colonization was going on at the middle part and South America and also the African countries, right? So the Mandarin Chinese is spoken all over the world by the Chinese, because 1.2 billion people are Chinese, right? So because of that, Chinese is number one, then comes Spanish. Afterward, English is there, right? So English is considered a global language and is used by an official language more than 50 countries. So ours, it's not the official language. Our national and the official language is Sinhalese, right? So the history of English language is a complex one, because there are certain influences which will be explained in this lesson. So many influences from other language and cultures. So in this overview, we will examine the history and evolution of the English language, because there are a lot of influences. The English language has loaned out many number of words, new words from other European countries, because it is not actually, it was not born in England. English was actually loaned and borrowed from a German empire, a German establishment. At that time, it was not broken down into Germany, England, France. It was just a common land. So at the German places, it was all spoken first, right? So we don't know actually, but right now we are learning the history, right? So we will learn about the English language, its grammar. We will learn about the grammar lessons, the syntax, the vocab. Okay, that is why I'm stressing you out. The vocab is very important. Vocabulary. Okay, that is. Vocab කියන්නේ අපි vocabulary එකට, vocabulary is very important. Each and every hard word, each and every word that you think is difficult, you don't know, write it down, ask me later, put a message in the chat box, we will explain the meaning. Okay, because somebody might think that is a hard word, other people will think it is a hard word, but they will not ask. So if that person asks, I can explain it to the whole group. Okay, so it's a so we have to focus on the vocab and the pronunciation as well. Right. Where's Tarushi? Yeah, Puta, you can start reading again.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Tarushi.
So this part.
Read the topics as well. Yes.
Okay, sir. Overview, key topics to be discussed: history and evolution of English language, grammar and syntax, vocabulary and pronunciation, global reach and impact, English greetings, English introductions. History and evolution. The English language has its root in Germanic languages of the early Anglo-Saxon tribes who migrated to England in the 5th century. Old English, also known as Anglo-Saxon, was the language spoken by these tribes and is considered the earliest form of the English language. History and evolution. During the Middle English period, from the 11th to the 15th century, the English language underwent significant changes due to the influence of Norman French, which was the language spoken by the ruling class in England at that time. This period saw the introduction of many French words and phrases into the English language.
Right. Okay, Puta. So thank you very much for that. And so just like I explained, English has gained a good amount of influences from other cultures. So we refer to these particular sides as cultures, because at that time, the country borders were not actually properly, divided. So this part is France, this part is German, this part is Czech and other European countries. It was not divided as such. Only England is an island. So Great Britain is an island. Right? So even today, it is an island along with England is there. If you check the map, it is the Scotland, Ireland, and Wales along with England. So that is the whole of Great Britain. Okay, that is only island. So apart from Europe. So talking about the rest of the European countries, the English language actually came to England with the Anglo-Saxon tribes, which has stationed themselves in the Scandinavian, the Scandinavian countries. The Scandinavian countries on the depths of the steppes. Okay, the Scandinavian countries, the Anglo-Saxon tribes were there. So they are a part of the Viking tribes. So they migrated to England, and along with them, the English language came to England, right? So, and then they civilized the country, and then England was born. And then century by century into the present day, the language had its traditional outcomes, and the language had its traditional transitions, or the whole story began. Okay, so we are talking about centuries. In the 5th century, just like she told us, 5th century, the Anglo-Saxons migrated to England. And then the Old English is known as Anglo-Saxon English. And during the Middle English period, from 11th to 15th century, the English language underwent a significant changes due to influence from Norman French. So Norman French is tribal French. That is the tribal language spoken in France. And the Anglo-Saxons took influences from those languages as well. The influence means they took words from those languages, right? Anglo-Saxons took words and phrases from those languages. Right. For example, අපි දැන් මම සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ නේ අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනවා අල්මාරි, සපත්තු. හරි ඒ වගේ වචන those words came from Portuguese. Because when you go to Portugal and Spain, they speak the same terms for those objects. සපත්තු shoe එකට සිංහලෙන් සපත්තු කියන්නේ සපත්තු කියලා පෝර්චුගීස් කට්ටිය කියන හින්දා. So it is not a singular word. And then අල්මාරි කියන එක අලුමාරි is this Portuguese term. So that is not a singular word. So just like that, even in English language, people took influences. People took words and phrases from the other cultures and other languages, right? So the Norman French was the ruling class. Then the Norman French people, after the tribal French people, they took the language. The Norman French also became the ruling class in England, right? So this period saw the introduction of many French words. See, French words into the English language, right? Okay, Tarushi, can you read a couple of slides more?
Okay, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Modern English. The modern English period began in the 15th century, and it's characterized by the standardization of the English language. This period saw the development of the standardized grammar and spelling system, as well as the printing of books in English. During this period, many new words were added to the English language as a result of the Renaissance and the scientific and technological advancements of the time. Grammar and syntax. English grammar and syntax are relatively straightforward compared to other languages. English is a subject-verb-object language, meaning that the subject comes first in a sentence, followed by the verb, and then the object. For example, the cat chased the mouse.
Right, thank you, Buddha. Yes, we have to go back to the other slide because there's certain things that I want to show you all. So we come to the modern English. So we come to the modern English and the modern English period began in the 15th century and is characterized by standardization of the English language. That is why we have to learn it in a standardized manner. Okay, so this period saw the development of the standardized grammar and spelling system. So that we know, that is why we are following that. Even in our course, we are following the grammar and the spelling issues and the development. Okay, so as well as the printing of books in English. So during this period, many new words were added to the English language as a result of the Renaissance Renaissance and the scientific and technological advancements of the time. So if you are asking me a question, Renaissance, what is the meaning of Renaissance, right? So most of you all, I don't know whether you all know this term. I'm pretty sure it is a hard word. So you can write it down. Renaissance. It's pronounced as Renaissance, and the meaning is rebirth. Okay. The meaning is rebirth. Okay. Yes. So Tarushi has answered as Punurude, correct. Renaissance means rebirth, Punurude, and it is, I want to add a bit into that word, Putala. Renaissance kiyaddi, it's a just like Tarushi told us, it's Punurude, rebirth. It is a word taken from the French vocabulary. Okay. Renaissance is in French vocabulary, and they have taken it into English vocabulary. So now we use it as an English word, right? So if we give the term, we can give it as a period. Let's say Renaissance කියන period එක, the පුනරුද්ධ සමය කියලා අපි කියන්නේ අර rebirth එක, the civilizationary rebirth එක. හරි. එතකොට it is a period in the English civilization, the European civilization that was marked by a revival of let's say classical learning and wisdom. අර අපි කියනවා classical learning and wisdom. හොඳ සාහිත්‍ය යුගයක්. පුනරුද්ධ සමයක් කියන්නේ සාහිත්‍යමය සහ අනිකුත් සියලුම අංග වලින් දියුණු වෙන කාලයකට තමයි පුනරුද්ධ සමයක් කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒතර විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ සාහිත්‍ය අපි කියනවා classical learning and wisdom එක දියුණු වෙන කාලයට මේ Renaissance පුනරුද්ධ සමයක් කියලා යුරෝපීය පුනරුද්ධය ගැන අපි කතා කරනවා. හරි, when you learn this history, that is there, right? Right. So modern English, that is that, and then we come to the grammar and syntax part. So English grammar and syntax are relatively straightforward compared to other languages, because when we will compare this issue, okay? Now you can understand this better. English grammar, and then we have Sinhala grammar. Okay, we come to the baseline. English grammar and Sinhala grammar. English is a subject, verb, object language. Subject, verb, object language. Now what is Sinhala කියනවා? Subject කියන්නේ උත්තය. Verb කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ආඛ්‍යාතය. Object කියන්නේ කර්මය. Subject, verb, object. එතකොට සිංහල ඕඩර් එක ඔහොම නෙමෙයි. In English we have subject, verb and object, but in Sinhala we have උත්තය, කර්මය and then ආඛ්‍යාතය. උත්තය ආඛ්‍යාතය, it comes to the very ends of the sentence. We begin in Sinhala, කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න. In Sinhala we begin a sentence by උත්තය and then we finish a sentence by ආඛ්‍යාතය. කර්මය comes in between. කර්මය is in the middle, right? But in English we start by subject and then the verb. Our ආඛ්‍යාතය කියන final part comes in the middle and the object follows that. So that you have to keep in mind. So these particular small things, you might think it's very insignificant. But I will question in the exam. Nobody knows, right? I might question in the exam, right? So just like that, meaning that the subject comes first in a sentence, followed by the verb, and then the object. For example, the cat chased the mouse. So when the cat chased the mouse, who's the subject? The subject is උත්තේ කියන්නේ cat. He is doing the activity. He is doing the action. And then verb කියන්නේ chased කියන එක. Verb in the past tense, chased. එයා කරපු ක්‍රියාව. ක්‍රියාපදේ. ආඛ්‍යාතයෙන් ක්‍රියාපදේ chase කරා. The mouse. Mouse object එක. එයාව තමයි chase කරේ. හරි. ඔය විදිහට තමයි ඔක තියෙන්නේ. Okay. So thank you Tarushi. I want the other person who volunteered to read the lesson. Who is the other person? කවුද අතීෂ්වා? Nivartana. Yes, Nivartana. Puda, can you switch on your microphone?
Yes, sir.
Good. Nivartana, you can start reading this lesson. Okay, not this lesson, this slide. Okay. Okay, start here. Yes, Nivartana, I can't hear you.
English tense systems. In standard English, there are three main verb tenses: past, present, and future. In addition, there are simple, perfect, and progressive forms for each of the three main verb tenses. However, most linguists agree that English can be more easily approached as a two-sentence verb system, present and past. English also has a range of auxiliary verbs such as will, shall, can, and must, which are used to express modality.
Read this slide as well, sir.
Vocabulary and pronunciation. English has a vast vocabulary with over 170,000 words in current use and thousands more obsolete words. English vocabulary is constantly evolving with new words and phrases being added regularly. English also has a large number of loan words from other languages such as French, Latin, and Greek.
Right. Ivatana will keep tabs for just now. I'll go back to the other slide. Right here, Putala, you can see in standard English, there are three main verb tenses. So we are learning in this in our course, we are learning in the grammar lessons, we are learning the past, present, and future tenses and their forms. Okay, now these parts you get confused. Even in the O-level syllabus, in the A-level syllabus, you are reminded these things over and over again, but still, I don't know what is wrong. I don't know whether the thinking pattern is wrong, whether the teachers are not teaching you properly, or input is going, output is nothing. I don't know what is wrong, but still, you have a lot of confusion when it comes to these terms, these tenses and their forms. So we are hoping to clear that out during the course of this course. Okay, see, during the course of this course. So I don't know whether you have heard that before. The course of this course means may course එක යන pathway එකේදී course of this course. Right. I'll tell you things like that during the course, so you can take down notes. මෙන්න මෙතන linguists. So Ivartana, it's pronounced as linguists. Linguists කියන්නේ පුතාලා people who are skilled in languages, people who study languages. භාෂා study කරන කට්ටිය. හරි. භාෂා ප්‍රවීණයෝ. ඒගොල්ලන්ට අපි කියනවා English වලින් linguists කියලා. Observe the spellings linguists, linguists. The people who study languages. So they tell us, although we study three types of tenses, past, present, and future, they tell us it can actually be two types of tenses. You don't go this and write this in the exam paper. Okay, a school system doesn't teach you this, but I'm telling you, I'm teaching you the advanced methods. So in future, we might actually learn, we might actually come across that people have dropped the future tense. Right? ඒක වෙන විදියකට past and present එකට include කරන්න පුළුවන්. So that is what the linguists are telling us. So and then we will learn about the auxiliary verbs as well. So some examples are given here. And when you come to this slide, it has a vast vocabulary. So nearly around 170,000 words. And the thing is, currently in use and thousands more obsolete words. So what do you mean by obsolete? Obsolete කියන්නේ they are no longer in use. Whatever the things mentioned, aforementioned things, words, numbers, whatever the thing which were once used are no longer in use. Then currently not in use. භාවිතාවෙන් නැතිවට තමයි obsolete කියලා කියන්නේ. Observe the spellings. මේව ලියා ගන්න. If you don't know, I know now with the development of technology that we have, mobile phones at our fingers length අපේ අතේ දුරින් ඇඟිලි වල දුරින් තියෙන. එතකොට we think we can search this later. මේක අපි පස්සේ search කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. Search කරලා type කරලා මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. But whatever that you procrastinate, පස්සට කල් දාන මේක අර වෙලේට කරනවා මේ වෙලේට කරනවා, it doesn't really happen. You can't actually engage in that. So what I'm telling you while I'm teaching, when I tell you to write something down, take a piece of paper, keep a set of papers, write those things down then and there. So if you do something then and there, you won't have to go back and put extra effort, extra time to do that. No, that is done and dusted. No, it's very easy. I'm telling you the easy method. So while I'm doing the lesson, while I'm telling you, while I'm teaching you, while I'm talking to you, make sure that you write down those words. And then when I explain the meaning, make sure that you write the meaning and then study here on. Right? It's easy. Make it easy. Right? So the English vocabulary is constantly evolving. Right? We know that. Being added regularly, English also has a large number of loan words. I told you. Languages, cultures, for example, Norman French and then the German descendants of words loan out. We have taken other words from French, Latin, and Greek cultures as well. Right. Nivarthana, continue reading පුතා.
Vocabulary and pronunciation. English pronunciation can be challenging for non-native speakers due to many irregularities in spelling and pronunciation. English spelling is not always phonetic, meaning that the spelling of a word does not always correspond to its pronunciation. English also has a large number of homophones, words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. Global reach and impact. English language and on global standards. Number 1, official language in more than 50 countries. It is also the primary language of international business, science, and technology. Number 2, over 1 billion people are learning English worldwide. English is the most commonly used language on the internet. Number 3, English has facilitated global communication, has made it easier for people from different countries and cultures to connect and share ideas. English greetings. General greetings, formal greetings, informal greetings, timely greetings.
Right. Yes, Nivarthana, thank you, Buddha. I think that's it for you. So 2 people have read the lesson. Thank you, both of you. And I will explain the previous slides. Just before we go into the greetings section, I had to explain a few things here. Yes, English pronunciation can be challenging for non-native speakers. Tarindu has raised hand. So Tarindu, I hope you, when I tell you to read the third part. Okay, Puta. Right. So when you come to non-native speakers, who are non-native speakers? The ones you and I myself, and the ones who are here, ones who have come for this lesson, we are non-native speakers. Okay, we are non-native speakers. That means our mother tongue, mother language is not English. If your mother language means mother tongue is, if you are brought up with that language, පොඩි කාලේ මුලින්ම කියන වචන වගේ අම්මා තාත්තා ඔයාලට හුරු කරන භාෂාව, that is the mother tongue. හරිද? අපිට සිංහල, මට සිංහල, ඔයගොල්ලන්ට සිංහල and Tamil දෙකම තියෙන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. And the other, so this is our second language. So we are non-native speakers. Native speakers තමයි අනිත් අය. Non-native speakers and then native speakers. Native speakers are, their mother tongue is English. So අපේ non-native speakers, right? So English spelling is not always phonetic. So phonetic කියන පුතාලා අර මේකේ meaning එක තියෙනවා that the spelling of a word does not always correspond to its pronunciation. So correspond කරනවා කියන්නේ help කරනවා. It's going along with that. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි වචනයක අපි ඒක pronounce කරනකොට pronunciation එකේදී ඒකේ spellings කියවන විදියට නෙමෙයි pronounce වෙලා එන්නේ. That is phonetic. It's not phonetic. Not every word goes along with its spelling. So ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා සමහර අපි කියන silent words තියෙන silent letters තියෙනවා. So right? So if you, for example, if you write doorknob එක, so doorknob එක KNOB, doorknob එක අපි K එකක් තිබ්බට K silent. So NOB විතරයි spell වෙන්නේ knob කියලා. K silent. හරි? ඒ වගේ silent letters තියෙන words තියෙනවා. So that means English language, English spelling is not always phonetic. Right? And it has a large number of homophones. That means words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. Homophones. It will sound the same. එකම හඬින් ඇහෙන එකම විදියට කියන්නේ මේ දෙකම, but it has different spelling, different meaning. For example, මම course කියලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියනවා. Course. හරිද? Course. Course කියලා කියනවා දෙපැත්තකට, දෙවිදියකට. වචන දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් COURSE. Course කියන්නේ මේ වගේ පාඨමාලා. Course එක පාඨමාලා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් COARSE. Course කියනවා රළු බව, රළු. Coarse voice කියලා කියනවා රළු හඬකට. හරි? ඒ වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා. COARSE course කියන්නේ rough, harsh කියන රළු කියන එකට. අනිත් පැත්තේ COURSE කියන්නේ පාඨමාලා කියන එකට. So that course දෙකම අපිට ඇහෙන්නේ එකම විදියට, but still it has different meaning and different spellings. Those are homophones. Right. For I've given you examples. මේ කියන දේවල් ඒ වෙලාවට ලියා ගන්න, so it'll be easy for you to study along with the lesson. Okay. Right. So we go to the next slide. So just like I mentioned, it is the official language in more than 50 countries, our primary language. And then over 1 billion people are learning English worldwide because of this particular issue that most of the people doesn't have English as their primary native language. You have to learn this non-native secondary language to connect with the international arena, international people. So that is the same scenario with us as well. You and I, we are going through the same emotions as well, right? Right. So English has facilitated global communication. So it has made easy for people to connect, interact, and everything. It has made easier for people to connect overseas and international basis. We have to do business, we have to do science research work, education purposes. We can watch videos on YouTube and learn because English is a common, it is a common step that we are all taking. හැමෝම in a common ground එක English. We can learn, share information අර science එක ඉගෙන ගන්න. දැන් for example, දැන් අපි you're doing, now we have come to A level scheme. අපි කියමු A level stream එකේ ඉන්නවා. You're doing science. මොකක් හරි lesson එකක් science වල තියෙනවා. physics lesson එකක් තියෙනවා. So අපේ ඉස්කෝලේ tuition එකේ කියපු physics තේරුන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? තේරුනේ නැහැ. ඒ lesson එක දැන් ඔයාලට හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. දැන් ආයි ඇහුවා මේ සර් ගෙන් හම්බෙන්නේ එන සතිය. You go to YouTube and then you type that your particular subtopic, lesson එක subtopic එක ගහලා how to මොකක් හරි explain video, explanation video, tutorial lot මෙන්න මේ topic එක. එතකොට පිටරට කොහේ හරි ඉස්කෝල එක, යුනිවර්සිටි එක ටීචර් කෙනෙක් හරි lecturer කෙනෙක් හරි ඔය එක ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් explain කරන අපි මේ ඉගෙන ගන්න topic එක. So if you know English, you can actually learn that scientific knowledge. එන සතිය ටියුෂන් යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, එනකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, ඉස්කෝලේ යනකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඔය ඉගෙන ගත්තා. ඔයාගේ මහන්සියෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. English is the common ground, so you have to learn that. Right. So okay, fine, not Tarindu. So somebody else, please raise your hand as we come to the general greetings. Somebody else, please raise your hand. Anyone who wants to volunteer and read the lesson with me, because two people already did, read out the lesson. So I hope people are ready to read out the lesson because it's easy. I mean, you don't have to worry about making mistakes. You are here to learn, right? I can't see anyone raising their hands. Okay, one did. Sahan Bandar. Sahan Puta, can you switch on your microphone?
Okay.
I can't hear you, Sahan. Put that microphone. Can you raise up the volume?
Okay, sir.
Good. We can hear you. Right, Sahan. So start with this slide and we'll go towards the other slides. Okay. Right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Like, yeah. So you can read the lesson, Sahan.
English greetings. General greetings.
Sahan, I think your mic is breaking, no, Sahan? Keep it close to your mouth and don't, read it out
Greetings.
slowly. Yeah.
General greetings, formal greetings, informal greetings, timely greetings. Hello can be used in both formal and informal greetings. Hi, informal greeting, used with friends and acquaintances. Hey, informal greeting, similar to hi. Howdy, informal greeting, commonly used in rural areas. Greetings, formal greetings used in written communications. Good morning, a greeting used before noon. Good afternoon, a greeting used after noon. Good evening, a greeting used after sunset. When do you use good night? Informal greetings. What's up? Informal greetings commonly used among friends. What's new? Informal greeting asking if anything interesting has happened recently. What's going on? Informal greeting. What happens currently? How's it going? Informal greeting asking how someone is doing. What's happening? Informal greeting asking what's going on. Howdy. Do. Informal greeting similar to howdy. Joe, informal greeting commonly used among friends. Hey there, informal greeting similar to hey.
Yes, Sahand, thank you for that. I'll take over from there. Right, so I'll come back a few slides here. We started here, no? So there are general greetings, formal greetings, informal and timely greetings. So I'll explain these things. These things are, quite important because sometimes people can get confused. Not the general greetings. General greetings we all know, right? When it comes to general greetings, we all know how to generally greet each other. But the problem comes when we use formal greetings because you can't go to a formal occasion. You can't go to a meeting or you can't go to a fellowship gathering and use informal greeting. That will be disrespecting people. So you have to know proper formal greeting. It doesn't care what happens in informal greetings, but you have to know proper formal greetings and then timely greetings. If you don't know how to timely greet someone, that is your ignorance. So when you come to hello can be a general greeting or they can hello hello can be used in both formal and informal greeting types. So we have few words terms down here: hi, hey, howdy, and greetings, right? So we say hi informally, hi, hey, so hi and hey can be used respectively. It depends on your personality, whichever one you prefer, right? Howdy කියන්නේ down under Australia වගේ රටවල howdy and then great west අපි කියන බටහිර කරේ කියන්නේ ඇමරිකාවේ වෙස්ට් එක ෆිල්ම්ස් වල දැකලා howdy කියන ටර්ම් එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා. So that is a less for it is even less informal method. We don't actually use that. I'm just mentioning that for your knowledge. Okay, so greetings කියනවා when you write somebody to greet someone. හොඳට example එකක් මම කියන්නම්. When you wish someone or when you greet someone, අර අපි birthday cards එක එක cards යවනකොට කාට හරි greetings කියලා දානවා. නැත්නම් letters වල අපි greetings කියලා දානවා. It is a formal way of greeting someone when you are writing something. Written communication වල not speaking communication. හරිද? අපි කතා කරන්නේ greetings කියලා. අපි ලියනවා greetings කියලා. You have to wish them, but if before you wish them you have to start by hi, hey, hello කියන්නේ. When you write something, greetings my dear friend. අර එහෙම start කරලා ලියන්න. හරි? You have to know that. So those particular small details are very important. So this thing, so you actually do use good morning before noon, right? Before 12 o'clock. Noon කියන්නේ දවල් 12. Noon කියන්නේ දවල් 12. So before that, whatever time you meet someone, you say good morning. Doesn't matter. So just after 12 p.m. දවල් 12ට පස්සේ you use good afternoon. So greetings used afternoon, right? That is why afternoon කියන්නේ. හරිද? Afternoon කියන්නේ දවල් 12ට පස්සේ. So before sunset, ඉර බහින්න කලින් ඕනම වෙලාවක you can say good evening. After sunset. ඉර බැහැලා ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හිතනවා හවස් වුණා කියලා මිනිස්සු වැඩ ඇරලා එන වෙලාවට good evening අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. හරිද? But in the English culture that is not the actual term that we use. හවස් ඒ කියන්නේ ඉර බහිනකම් පුතාලා දවල් 12න් පස්සේ ඉර බහිනකම් අපි good afternoon කියලා කියනවා. අපේ මේ ලංකාවේ කල්චර් එකේ තමයි when we come to Sri Lanka and South Asia අපි හිතනවා ඉර බහින වෙලාවට මිනිස්සු වැඩ ඇරලා යන වෙලාවට ඒක තමයි good evening එක කියලා. That is not the evening. Still it's the afternoon. So after sunset ඉර බැස්සට පස්සේ ඇත්තටම කළුවරයි, but still then we use good evening because that is the eve of the day. හරිද? ඒක තමයි දවසේ මොකද? දවසේ සඳය සමය. දවස් ඉවර වෙන්නේ අර හවස් කාලේ රෑ කාලේ එනකොට ඉර බෑලා ගියට පස්සේ තමයි දවස් ඉවර වෙන්නේ. That is the eve of the day. So that is why we are using good evening. So when do you use good night? It is not a greeting term. Good night කියන්නේ greeting term එකක් නෙමෙයි. Good night is a concluding term. හරි? ඒක ඉගෙන ගන්න. Good night is a concluding term. That means ඔයා හවස 6න් පස්සේ good evening or occasion එකකට සහභාගී වෙනවා, ceremony එකකට සහභාගී වෙනවා. You have to go to a ceremony, you have to go to dinner party, birthday party, whatever you go, and then at 10 p.m. at 9 p.m. whatever the time you leave that place, එතන ඉන්න කට්ටියට good night කියලා යන්නේ. මොකද you are leaving that place, you are concluding the events for that day. එදාට දවසේ වැඩ ඉවරයි, මම යනවා කියන එක තමයි good night කියලා එතනින් අදහස් කරන්නේ. So have a good night කියන්නේ වැඩ ඉවර කරලා යද්දි ඒත් ඉන්න තැන කට්ටියට එතනට ගිහිල්ලා සහභාගී වෙලා යද්දි ඉන්න තැන කට්ටියට හැබැයි හවස 6න් පස්සේ. So you can't actually දැන් ඔන්න රෑ 7ට ගිහිල්ලා ගෙදර අම්මට good night කියන්නේ පා good night ගෙදර ආව මොනසර පිස්සුද කියලා බලයි. ඇත්තටම මේ ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. So ඇත්තටම හවස 6න් පස්සේ ඉර බැස්සට පස්සේ අපි what we use is good evening. We only greet someone. But when we leave that place, when we conclude something, you use good night. This will definitely be questioned in our exam. හරි මම මේක අහනවා එක එක විදියට. So හරියට ගලපගෙන තියාගන්න because these are very small minor details. What things but if you do a mistake, it will be huge. මේක හෙන මෝඩයි කියලා හිතන්න. ඇත්ත. හරි. Right. So මෙන්න මෙතන මේවා these are informal greetings. හරිද? So උදාලා informal greetings, I don't have to go one by one. You know, මේ තියෙන විදිහට list කරලා තියෙන්නේ what's up, what's new, what's going on, how's it going, what's happening, how did you කියන්නේ තර down under Australia වල පරණ traditional විදියට greet කරන විදියක් සහ Great West. හරි LA මොකද වෙස්ට් එකේ අපි කියන cowboy towns වල අපි films එක දැකලා දෙනවා how did you වගේ terms දානවා. මේ yo කියන එක I didn't want to actually put it here but still it's in the culture. Hey there කියන එකත් කියන්න පුළුවන්. Right. This part. Do we have Tarushi here? Tarushi innawada? The
Yes,
first.
sir.
Good. Tarushi, can you read these things? Formal greetings for the kiyan pulanga.
Formal greetings. Nice to see you. Used as a greeting when meeting someone again after a while. Long time no see. Used as a greeting when meeting someone after a long time. Welcome. Used as a greeting when someone arrives. Glad to meet you. Used as a greeting when meeting someone for the first time. Pleased to meet you. Used as a greeting when meeting someone for the first time. Good to see you. Used as a greeting when seeing someone again. Good day, formal greeting commonly used in Australia and New Zealand.
So yes, so this is what I want you all to focus on this lesson. Harida, lesson can the first part we got the introduction, but when it comes to greetings, when I make formal greetings and timely greetings, අපි good morning, afternoon, evening, good night use කරන්නේ වලම timely greeting කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ ටික හරියට හොඳට ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න and then formal greeting. The types and the phrases. මේ බලන්න nice to see you. Used as a greeting when meeting someone again after a while. Then කාලයකට පස්සේ I don't know you all. දැන් මට අපි දැන් කවුද අපේ මේ සහන් හම්බෙනවා. සහන් කියනවා nice to see you sir. After some time we meet each other. Nice to see you කියන්න පුළුවන්. Long time no see කියන්නේ used as a greeting when meeting someone after a long time. So this depends on your terms. ඔයා හිතන්නේ ගොඩක් කාලයකට පස්සේද? ඔයා හිතන්නේ කෙටි කාලයකට පස්සේද? ගොඩක් කාලයකට පස්සේ නම් long time no see කියලා අපි කියනවා. Nice to see you කියනවා පොඩ්ඩක් කෙටි කාලයකට පස්සේ. So welcome. Welcome used as a greeting when someone arrives. ඕනම කෙනෙක් ගෙදරකට ආවම we say welcome. Welcome to our house. ඔය ඒ මොකක්වත් ඕනේ welcome කිය. And glad to meet you. You meet someone for the first time. දැන් ඔන්න යාළුවෙක් එක්ක කොහරි ගියා. එයා කවම හරි ඔයාට අඳුන්වලා දෙනවා. එයාම හම්බෙන්නේ පළවෙනි පාරට. එතකොට ඔයා කියනවා glad to meet you. හරි. එතකොට එයාත් කියනවා yes the pleasure is mine and yes the same කියලා යාට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඒක කන්ක්ලූඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. And pleased to meet you කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. first time හම්බෙනකොට. And then good to see you කියලා අපි කියනවා. We use this term good to see you used as a greeting when seeing someone again. That good to see you. And good day mate. ඒක තමයි ඔස්ට්‍රේලියා නිව්සීලන්ත වල down under කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. Good day mate. Good day කියන term එක ඒගොල්ලෝ use කරනවා when greeting someone. So that is a bit informal but still you have to know. I'm teaching you all imagining if you migrate to Australia or New Zealand somewhere else එතකොටත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන දේවල් තියෙනවා. So that is why I'm teaching you all these things. Okay, so that is, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. So switch on your microphones and ask me. So this is the lesson. හරිද? අදට අපිට තිබ්බ lesson එක මේක තමයි. But the thing is, next week onwards, we are taking our usual class Saturday. හරිද? Saturday morning 11 AM තමයි අපේ usual class එක තියෙන්නේ. So this is the introductory lesson. This is a special lesson. First lesson, I took it on Friday because after work, I want it to take Friday. Then heta class එක නෙමෙයි, heta Saturday නෙමෙයි, next week Saturday. That means today is May 31st. So we are concluding the month of May. June 8th. ජූන් 8 ජූනි 8 තමයි අපේ ක්ලාස් එක ඊළඟට තියෙන්නේ Saturday 11 am. Normally we have class on Saturday 11 am. We will give the recordings and everything in the group. So that is that. But the other thing is I am giving you homework. That means within the week you have to do certain activities, certain work, and then as a practice when I take the next lesson Saturday June 8 lesson එක ගන්නකොට මුලින්ම මම කරන්නේ කට්ටියගේ දීපු වැඩ ගැන අහලා ඒ වගේ activities හොයලා බලන එක. I take homework seriously, and then I ask the students about them, and I ask their work, I ask for their work, I ask them to read the work. So I do that. I won't scold you anything. Make as many mistakes you want. ගොඩාක් වරදගත ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ, වැඩ ටික කරලා තියන්න. හරි. So මම group එකේ අපි share කරනවා ගුණන්ගේ දැන් අද මේ recording එකයි lesson එකයි share කරලා පස්සේ ඊළඟ සතියේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන් ඉන්න ඕන වැඩ ටික share කර. මොනවද ඒකේ lesson එක බලන්න තියෙනවද, ඒකෙන් වැඩ තියෙනවද, ඒක share කර. So I'm only talking in Sinhala because this is the first lesson. I minimize talking in Sinhala as much as I can, but still I have to explain in Sinhala because some kids are still behind. So make sure putala, because sometimes I speak very fast. That issue is there. So I try to lower my pace, but still that is there. With my profession, we are used to that. So I apologize if anybody can't keep up the pace, but still, if you can't keep up the pace, put a message and tell me, right? Ask me, sir, can you slow down? Sir, can you explain this? Can you answer this question? So ask me. If you don't ask, I don't know. I wouldn't know, right? Not that I don't know, I wouldn't know. There's no chance for me to know. You don't ask me questions. So thank you very much for Tarushi, Nivartana, and Sahan. Right? They volunteered to read the lesson. So they did that. So it impressed me the way they spoke and everything. So I want some other people to read the lesson the next day, because if not, I will have to go back to these 3 people and get them to volunteer back again. So you will not be benefited from that, no? So same 3 or 4 people reading out every day, it won't benefit the others. So others can hide behind your whatever the place you are sitting, but still these people will be benefited. They can improve their English, they can improve their pronunciation. I will correct their mistakes, and they will improve their knowledge as well, because they interact actively. So that is what I want. Okay. So at the end of our course period, I want everybody to volunteer. Everybody must have volunteered at some point of the time, and everybody has to, because while going through the weeks, we will have group activities as well. Other things, very lot of work have been planned. So today is our first day. So we conclude the procedures for today, but still everything will be published in your group, and work will be given. Make sure you do your work before you come to the next lesson. So thank you for joining, and if you have any feedback, if you have any problems with words, make sure you put it in the chat box, right? So I have yes, Tarushi and everyone, have a nice day. See, she has used the greetings term. Good. I want people to use the work as much as I teach you all. So I hope all of you keep the enthusiasm, just like this for the next lesson as well. So we'll have a perfect lesson. Okay. Right. So thank you for joining. We'll meet on June 8th, Saturday, 11 a.m.